philosophies ng CHS together with your program chair, si Sir Mandy Delphine, because um, we actually attended the training for extension program. That is why hindi kami hindi ako nakapag-meet sa inyo. Now, this afternoon or this evening, we will continue our lesson. We are actually on lesson 2, man as person, and we will also be discussing personality and character. Okay, but before that, sige nga, let us review first. Okay, what was our previous discussion? Who would like to answer? Or Rian? Sige, I will ask Rian. What was our previous discussion? Rian, can you hear me? Marinig ba ako? Hello?
Yes po.
Okay. Rian, can you hear me, Rian? What was
Yes.
our previous topic? Sige, particularly on lesson 2 tayo, ha? Ay, lesson 2, chapter 2, I mean.
Opo, ma'am. Good evening po. Marinig po ako, ma'am.
Yes, dear, we can hear you.
Yung previous topic po natin, ma'am, based sa remember ko po is man as a person po, ma'am. Natakal po natin yung about different philosophical views of man po, like biological, classical view, Christian view, and existential view po.
Okay, very good. So tama ano? So we discussed actually about the different philosophies of man, in which yun nga ang sabi ni Rian, we had discussed the different philosophical views of man, particularly the biological view, the classical, the Christian, and the existentialist view. Okay. Now, may I ask who can differentiate or who would like to explain biological view? Sige nga, if you could still remember. Yes, Luis?
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. It's good evening already.
Ay, sorry.
Okay, it's
Sorry po.
okay. Good
So,
evening.
so there are different philosophical views of a man, and one of those is the biological. So, as what we have discussed before, or our last as we tackled before pa, ma'am. So, yung biological po, ito yung parang define yung parang um how people think about, like, related siya sa ating like heredity, like
Mm-hmm.
environmental, and also sa ating cultural influences. So di ba, we all know that we as a human, we are very curious about things, and
Mm-hmm.
through this we come up with different answers to the questions, and through biological po, we learned that man is man is self-conscious, and he
Mm-hmm.
also reflect on his past and future po in life po, ma'am. Parang ganun po. Thank you
Okay,
po.
very good. That is correct, ano? Okay, that is what the biological view, particularly which this pertains to a view kung saan, tama nga ang sabi ni Luis, um, we are created or we are a result actually of hereditary, environmental, and cultural influences. And that whatever we do, we always relate it, we always reflect it on our past, and not only on the past, but for our future. Okay. So, under this philosophical view, also, it explains that man believes in divine being, and that marami tayong mga superstitious beliefs, okay, kung saan it could be animistic, supernatural, or spiritual things. So, meaning tayo, okay, hindi natin masabi na, or hindi, we always say na, or we always believe on things even though there's no scientific explanation, because yun na nga, no, parang we were born to believe those because it has been handed down to us by our ancestors, by our relatives. And so with that, okay, kung kaya't we can say na ang tao is not purely about cells, no? It's not only about heredity, but also environmental and cultural, because of environmental and cultural influences. Okay? Now, who can explain naman the Christian view? Yan. Who would like to explain Christian view? Yes, Jen Lee?
So pagkaintindi ko po sa Christian view, ma'am, it really depends. It basis niya po ang human ang religion po na Christianity, which
Yes.
also based on the Holy Bible,
Mm-hmm.
na ang mga Judeo-Christian philosophers, ma'am, consider man as the image of God. If sa mga if sa classical view and biological view, ma'am, ang man is a moral animal at saka a political animal. Dito po sa Christian view, a man is the image of God. And that
Mm-hmm.
God created man in His own image.
Okay.
And ang mga divine,
There is always ano? May divine characteristics, ano? May divine characteristics ang mga tao because we were created nga in the own image and likeness of God. So, because of that, kumbaga hindi na tayo pwedeng sabihin na tao lang. Parang it's unacceptable sa Christian view na sasabihin mo na tayo ay tao lang. It is because we were created in the image of God, in own image and likeness of God. And so, kung if you are looking for God, all you have to do is to look into your friends, your families, because that is the face of God. So yun naman 'no, and tama yung sabi ni si Jen Lee yun ano, na sa classical view, it defines man as animalistic and political 'no, tama ba? Okay, we are political animal, yeah, so yun. And because of that, kung kaya't sa classical, there are, okay, ano daw, meron daw, we are composed of the physical body and the soul. And that we are rational and social being according to Aristotle. Okay? So those are the three. Now, last na lang, how about the spiritualist view? Okay, yes, Kaylee.
Hello po, ma'am. Good evening po.
Good evening.
Okay. Based on my understanding on existentialist view po, so it says that man is a being who knows what he knows. So we human has a free of a freedom have freedom to choose and has free will. We can able make our decisions, and um, meron po tayong makakagawa po tayo ng sarili nating decision,
Mhm.
and makakommit po tayo ng meaning sa direction po ng ating life. So yun po ang pagkaintindi ko po.
Okay, actually that is correct ano, that yun na nga sabi ng isang author na man is a being who knows what he knows. It is because we have okay our free will, no? And that sabi nga last meeting natin, yung una natin that we are a rational being. And that it also, under this existentialist view, sinasabi na man is responsible not only for ourselves, also for other people. Because we believe na ito yung tama, okay, and that it is because we are bounded by our free will to do so. Actually, there are a lot of authors, no, na nag-explain with regards to existentialist view. Just like according to Monsignor Shin, sabi niya, 'di ba, if you could still remember, there are three levels daw of ours daw, or a man daw is composed of a three-level structure. Naalala niyo pa 'yon? What are those three-level structure nga? You still remember? Yes, Nikos?
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Body po, soul, and yung spirit.
Yes, very good. The body, the soul, and the spirit. Now, paano natin ma-differentiate itong soul and spirit? Yes, Luis.
So, good evening, ma'am. So, for me, ma'am, yung difference between yung soul and yung spirit is that, di ba, like parang sa egg po, meron po tayong three layers din. Yung shell, yung egg yolk, yung white part
White.
ng egg and yung yellow part. Yes po, ma'am.
Yes.
So, yung eggshell po, yan yung parang body natin, di ba? Yung parang sa outermost, which is like, dyan, like, aware tayo sa material self natin. Whereas, yung sa pagpasok mo naman, like, kung i-break mo yung egg, nandoon nakikita mo na yung white portion and yung yellow portion. Then, yung white portion, that is our soul. Yes po. That is our soul. Yung parang sa soul po, ma'am, dyan na nare-remind tayong about sa ating mind, yung how we respond to other people and how we also perform as a person. While yung spirit po, yan yung parang inner core po talaga, yung parang how we people should act. We all know that we should be spiritual, and this means that we should be centered and we should have an understanding that we are part of something much bigger than ourselves, and that is truly the spirit tells us yung parang sa inner core po talaga ng personality or ng pagkatao ng isang tao po.
Okay, very good, no? Meron talagang analogy si Luis, which is very, very great. Now, tama yun, ano? Kung titingnan natin, if you could still remember our discussion, um, ang tao daw ay merong three-level structure: the body, okay, the spirit, and the soul and the spirit. So the body is of course our physical body, in which it tells us, okay, kung ano yung mga reactions, particularly on our reactions with the different senses that we have, no? Now the soul naman is, this is on how our mind works, how our mind rationalize, think. Then the spirit naman, okay, as what Louis said, it's our inner core kung saan it makes us more spiritual. Okay, kasi this is the structure kung saan parang ito yung nagko-communicate kay God. So it's more likely of our conscience, ano? Our conscience, our ability to talk with the Lord, particularly of determining the the best thing that we need to do, no? It's always on the goodness. Okay? So those are the different um philosophical views, the biological, classical, Christian, and existentialist view. Now, there are also other philosophical views which was mentioned, like the Oriental philosophical views, kung saan um, Mencius, okay, made mention that uh, ang tao daw ay merong Gen, Yi, Li, and Jin. So, ang Gen, this is our nature of which we feel the true virtue of heartedness, no? The feeling of commensuration. While the Yi is okay, our nature in which it feels it makes us feel shame and dislike, okay? Kung saan dito nagsisimula yung righteousness. The Li, okay, the feeling of modesty and yielding towards the good, and the Chin, which is the sense of right and wrong. Aside from that, we also discussed contemporary views, ano? And when we say contemporary, ito yung mga makabagong pananaw, particularly of what man is. And there are a lot of authors, okay, explaining contemporary view, pero si Immanuel Kant, okay, he was the one who concluded that man is the only creature who governs and directs himself and his action. Meaning to say, tayo lang yung may kakayahan talaga na i-govern at i-direct yung ating sarilis at yung mga actions na ginagawa natin. Okay, our ability to rationalize, our ability to think, our ability to determine what's best, it's only man who can do that, no? So every man is an end in himself and should never be treated merely as a means as per the order of the creator and the natural order of things. So um it is still anchored no with the Christian views, with the other views, parang pinagsama na lahat kay itong contemporary view. Okay? So those are the topics that we discussed last meeting. Now this evening we will discuss man as a person, specifically, okay, on personality and character. Now sa inyo ba, sa palagay ninyo, meron bang pagkakaiba ang personality at ang character? Do you think may pagkakaiba ba ang dalawa? Okay, sabi ni Rian, nag-thumbs up siya siguro. Okay, that would mean na yes, may pagkakaiba. Tama ba, Rian?
Yes po, ma'am.
Okay. How about the others? Sa palagay ninyo, may pagkakaiba ba? Kay Luis, yes, also very good, no? But when you are, okay, kasi ethics, okay, ethics is different from science, tama? And so kung sa science naman na discipline, okay, they personality and character are synonymous, okay, according to some experts. Naman is, kumbaga, it's the explanation, okay, of something which it goes deeper in order for us to better understand things and in order for us to come closer to the truth. And so, on this topic, we will be discussing the difference between personality and character. So, what are the things you will be expecting in this lesson? So, okay, and not only sa lesson, but for the students. Okay, so distinguish and explain what is man as a person, the personality ethics, okay, from character ethics, and evaluate one's personality and character. Okay, so let's start with man as a person. Who would like to read? Okay, Angela.
Good evening po, ma'am. Am I audible po ba?
Yes, dear.
Man as a person. Person is human nature manifested as an individual. It is defined as a complete substance, subsisting it by itself, separate from all else and endowed with a rational nature and free will.
Okay, so we are a human nature manifested as an individual. So, like, if we are a nature, okay, then we are a human nature, no? And that we are composed of ourselves, no? Okay, which is separate from all else and endowed with rational nature and free will. So that is why, kumbaga, if we will try to distinguish man from other creatures, from other living things, we can really say na lain gid ang tao. We can say that man is really a supreme being, okay, in the sense that, okay, aside from our ability to think, okay, we are also endowed with free will, and that we are a complete substance. So that is man as a person. Now, if you'll try to look at it, defines man differently compared to man being defined according to science. Kayo, since kayo naman ay ano talaga kayo, no? Like sa College of Health Sciences. And yung inyong kurso talaga is leaning towards science talaga. And that everything you do, there is always a scientific explanation. Now, sa inyo, if I will ask you, how would you define man or a person scientifically? Or like, what is your scientific definition of a man? Kasi ito naman is different, ano? So kayo, sa inyo, how would you define man scientifically? Who would like to ano, to try or to like to give this idea? Paano ba natin i-define ang man or ang person? Okay? According to science. Sige. Who would like to try? Kasi we're talking about man as a person, and man is being defined as human nature manifested as an individual according to the definition of ethics, no? Ethical definition ng ng man, 'yon. But how would you define man as, okay, ano, how would you define man according to science? Sige, kung ako ha, if I will be defining man according to science, it's more likely of a ano, a combination of cells, okay, something like that, or a combination of cells in which it has different organs functioning in order for the man to survive. Yun. That's how I would define man according to science. How about you, JR?
Good evening, ma'am. Am I audible po?
Yes.
So, as a former biology student din po kasi, ma'am, we've
Okay.
discussed that kind of topic na po, and based on my understanding about humans,
Mhm.
for me po, humans evolves through generations. Like in the
Mhm.
process, over time, we humans undergo process of change in all forms of life
Mhm.
over generations, and sa evolutionary biology,
Mhm.
doon po natin nalalaman how we evolve. And one of the famous theory about that is the theory of evolution by Charles Darwin,
Mhm.
where he proposed that shows that species can change over time, that new species come from pre-existing species, and that all species share a common ancestor, which is, in our case, galing daw tayo sa unggoy. Parang ginasabi nila that species has its own unique set of, I forgot the term,
Mhm.
heritable or genetic differences from the
Mhm.
common from our common ancestors, which is yung mga monkey noon, which have accumulated gradually over a very long time na po.
Mhm.
So that's my understanding about humans and the aspect of science.
Mhm.
Uh, yun po.
Okay, thank you, JR. Now, at least, no, meron tayong someone who explain such based on biology naman. In which, tama, 'di ba? So, as you think of it, there is really difference with regards to how we define something, particularly person, depending on what discipline defines it. So, kung ita-try natin i-define ang person according to science, scientific definition of that, syempre papasok talaga diyan yung cell, papasok diyan yung evolution, and then yung ano, yung parang just like JR mentioned na we change through the years, no? We evolve through the years. That is why meron nga akong na ano na na kita na species ng isang jellyfish. Actually, I do not know if you have heard this. They call it as the crown of thorns, kung saan it's actually a parang nag-mutate daw ang starfish at ang ano nga yung may tinik-tinik sa dagat, yung hindi mo pwedeng apakan kasi 'pag naapakan mo
Sea
maga ma
urchin.
yes, sea urchin, yun. So yun, parang there is already a mutation between sea urchin and a jellyfish kung saan, ang tawag doon ay crown of thorns. So parang that's signs 'no, that there is really a possibility na merong pagbabago, okay, merong evolution, merong changes because of, okay, the time. Now, man as a person according to ethics naman is different, no? We have, as what we discussed, according to the existentialist, no, that we are a composition, or um we are composed in a three level structure: the body, the soul, and the spirit. Now if we will try to look at it, science do not believe in spirit, tama. They do not believe in soul. And there is a scientific explanation if you would really try to insist on those things. Okay? Now, that is man as a person according to science and according to ethics. Okay? Now, let us proceed with personality and character. Now, kanina, tinanong ko kayo, meron bang difference ang personality and character? Now, on this lesson, you would know, okay, kung meron ba talagang difference ang dalawa. Now, who would like to read the first paragraph? Okay, Pearl Jean, sige.
Good evening po, ma'am. Am I audible po ba?
Yes, dear.
So, personality and character. Personality is the sum total of the factors of physique and constitution and those enduring underlying tendencies of a person which determine his characteristic behavior. In the language of laymen, personality refers to those physical attributes and mannerism of an aesthetically refined person. In psychology, those enduring and underlying tendencies which determine characteristic behavior are the talents, power, and habits which are accidental to a person. One individual is not more of a person than another, but
mga estudyante, it's more likely dalawa lang yan. Okay? No? Yung personality, which is friendly, and personality, which is not acceptable, particularly of a criminal behavior, accountability. So dito, sinasabi niya, claims personality are physical and so kung titingnan natin, may mga tinatawag tayong overt behavior. Ito yung mga nakikita natin sa isang tao, the way he speak, the way he talk, the way he reacts, okay, paano siya maglakad. So those are okay, physical attribute, ano? And we can say that that is personality. That is how the language of layman explains personality. Inside naman, no? Proceed, which dito din characteristic behavior, okay, such as talent, power, and habits, mental to a person. So that yan, one individual is more of a person than another, that he may have more person than another. Meaning, kayo, okay, meron kayong mga personality na um naalala niyo yung um nakalimutan ko yung sa psychology, window. You still can you help me recall? Um, ano nga yung tawag? Parang it's a window kung saan may mga personality ka na it is known to you and known to others. Then meron din namang mga may personality ka na unknown to you but known to others. Meaning, may personality ka na hindi mo alam ginagawa mo pala, pero alam ng iba. Just like um, last week when we had our training, nag nag-ano ako, tinaas ko na yung buhok ko, like alam mo yung yung ginagawa na it mo na ang hair, mo sa sabi sa akin ni ma'am yan, 'pag gano'n, meaning to say, ready na ako talaga to like focus na ako sa trabaho ko. Pero 'pag hindi ko pa daw ginagawa 'yun, parang okay lang, sige, I can do anything na walang out of focus. Pero 'pag ginawa ko na daw 'yun, meaning to say, ready to work, ready to focus na daw talaga ako. And na-realize ko, ay meron pala akong gano'ng klaseng personality. Meron pala akong gano'ng klase ng behavior, characteristic behavior na ginagawa. In which personality na unknown sa iyo and unknown din sa iba. So, actually yung pagkakaroon ng yung mga iba na narcissistic, no? Meron din namang iba na meron din palang ibang mga personality. Kung kaya't according to psychology, sabi nga diyan, one individual more of a person than another, but he may have more personality than another. So baka yung iba sa inyo diyan, okay, 'di ba merong obsessive compulsive? Meron ba sa inyo? May obsessive compulsive, and then meron din namang narcissistic. Okay? Meron din, there are actually a lot of kinds of personality in which kung minsan 'pag halimbawa binabasa mo 'yon, parang sasabihin mo, ay parang ako ito or parang meron akong personality na ganito. That is why sino dito nagbabasa ng mga ano, ng mga horoscope particularly doon sa kanilang anong tawag doon sa ano, yung zodiac sign. Sino mahilig magbasa? Yan, 'di ba parang sinasabi mo na, "Ay parang tama ako talaga 'to." Okay, 'di ba? It's because meron tayong gano'n. So kaya kung minsan sasabihin natin na, "Ay tama gid ni ma sa mga ako ano na, sa mga Leo, sa mga Gemini, ay ako talaga ito." Kasi meron kang gano'ng klase ng personality. So sa mga nagbabasa-basa diyan ng zodiac sign, ng mga different personality, okay, eto 'yun. 'Yan yung sinasabi, ano? Now, please read the second paragraph. Okay. Yes, Luis?
So also, personality can be described more specifically as how a person affects others, how he understands and views himself, and his pattern of inner and outer measurable traits. From this definition, it can be understood one's physical appearance and behavior affects others. Understanding oneself means one is unique with a set of attitudes and values and a self-concept. Finally, the pattern of measurable traits refers to a set of characteristics that the person exhibits.
Okay. So thank you ano. So personality can be described as how a person affects others. Like if you are a person who are able to influence others, then that is personality. Kasi may mga tao din talaga na kahit anong gawin impluwensya sa iba, 'di ba? May mga leaders sa mga tao who are born to lead or who need to lead. So parang it be connected with the personality that you have. Meaning to say that you have this good traits, okay, good personality in which you were able to influence others. So can understood one's physical appearance and behavior affects others. Paano kaya nakakaapekto ang physical appearance? Ha? Personality. Yes.
Right po, ma'am. So,
Leave.
it is really, ano po, ma'am, talaga na yung physical appearance ng isang tao can really affect the personality, his or her personality. For example po, ma'am, a person with yung parang maraming flaws po, 'di ba?
Mhm.
Lead them to become shy po, ma'am,
Mhm.
and that hinder them in opening their true colors to others, since parang yun yung nagbibigay ng parang boundary sa kanila sa ibang tao, since we have na society a set of standard when it comes to beauty. So I think that having physical appearance which is not parang naka point po sa set na standard po ng or themselves sa ibang tao, diba po?
Okay, very good. Tama. Sino mag-agree? Yes, Jenly. Okay, Jenly. How naman here?
Okay. To expand po on this, ma'am, dito po sa others, how he understands and views himself and his pattern of inner and outer measurable traits. So sa pagkaintindi ko po, ma'am, yung appearance po, ma-contribute po siya on how we interact with other people po, ma'am. Especially po may tinatawag po na pretty privilege po, ma'am, na May mga
Yes.
tao po na blessed po siya physically and her on their attributes. Binigyan po sila ng leeway sa mga actions po nila. Like, if a person, kunyari po, may pangit po na nag-rape, so,
Okay, which is true. Tama.
yun po, ma'am. Tapos,
Okay.
yung appearance po, ma'am, is nakakontribute po din sa level of confidence ng tao po mismo. If may mga ano po na low po ang maybe pagtingin po nila yung appearance po nila is hindi po up to standard of the society. O may mga tao din po na tingin nila yung appearance nila is like above sa mga iba. Parang hindi pa naman po always, pero usually parang mas confident po sila, mas outgoing po sila interact with others po.
Okay, very good. Tama, ano? Tama. Tama ang punto ni Luis and ni Jenly, ano? And I would also agree doon sa sinabi ni Jelly na pretty privilege, which is really happening, no? Nga kung gwapa, amo sulay, amo, diba? And because of that, okay, as what Luis said, syempre pag hindi ka gwapa, okay, kung minsan yung confidence mo, hindi lang minsan, pero always, all of the time talaga, yung confidence mo bumaba, naaapektuhan din ang social skills mo. So, with that, masasabi talaga natin na one's physical appearance, okay, and behavior affects others. Okay, like, do you still remember, you know what? Isa sa mga root cause kung bakit nagkaroon tayo ng war, okay, particularly sa panahon ni Hitler, that's World War One, no? Ay, World War Two, tama? Okay. It is because they believe, okay, Hitler believes sila ay supreme, sila ay kumbaga ano yung tawag nito? Um, pinaka-privileged na lahi, pinaka-above, supreme na lahi. Kung kaya't ang ginawa niya dahil sila ang supreme, ang ginawa niya, pinapatay niya yung mga Jews because ang tingin niya sa mga Jews ay mga low level na mga tao at hindi dapat kaya't nagkaroon tayo ng war. Okay? So, it can really, kumbaga, prove na physical appearance and behavior affects others. Okay? Next paragraph tayo. Please read. Okay, Julian.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
So, some of the other definitions are personality is a vehicle to integrate perception learning, values and attitudes, and thus to understand the whole person. Personality is an individual's total sense of self, an organizing force for the person's particular pattern of exhibit traits and behaviors. Personality is the culmination of experiences and genetic influences.
So our personality is the culmination of our experiences and genetic influence. Meaning to say, this is our personality. This is how we show others because of genetic influence and of our experiences. Sinong nakapanood ng um, 50 Shades of Grey? Or nakabasa? O, 'di ba? Um, let us try to look or to analyze yung naging personality doon ng bidang lalaki ni Christian Grey. Okay. no doubt sa genetic influence kasi 'di ba, base 'di ba tama ba ako? Wala siyang walang kumbaga it was not mentioned na he was raised by a good parents, tama ba? And that naging ano, naging there was parang, um, adopted, yes, tama, adopted. So kung titingnan natin, isa sa mga rason siguro kung bakit gano'n siya, it's because hindi natin ma-trace kung ano yung ugali. Aside from that, the experiences that he had when he was young, particularly high school, 'di ba? Do you still remember na mother ng best friend niya yung naging ka-love team niya noong una. And so, because of that, okay, yes, JR, neglected po yung okay. Aha, thank you, JR. So, 'di ba, kung kaya because of that, okay, masasabi talaga natin na there is really, kumbaga, something doon sa personality ng bidang lalaki. And that, sabi nga dyan, personality is an individual's total sense of self, an organizing force for the person's particular pattern of exhibited traits and behavior. So, how are we going to show others? Okay, it's actually yes, JR.
Think nag-arrange siya ng handa siya lang.
Okay. Sige, sige. It's okay, no problem. So, balik tayo doon, no? So, yun na nga, we are, okay, our personality is an individual's total sense of self. Ito yung pananaw ko sa sarili ko. Like, kung ang pananaw mo sa sarili mo ay ikaw ang pinakamagaling na tao, okay, and pag may nag-correct sa'yo, because ang pananaw mo sa sarili mo ay always ina-expect ng tao because it is your total sense of yourself. Individual personality is the individual's total sense of self. Okay? So that is another definition of person. Nikos.
The person of a man does not grow in stature, but personality of a man develops and enlarges itself according to the pattern of his actions, the mature use of his powers, and the schema of his habits, whereas person is entirely a gift and a birthright. Personality is largely a matter of one's achievement. There is no such thing as the cultivation of person, but there is such a thing as the cultivation of personality.
Okay. So dito naman, sabi niya, there is no such thing as the cultivation of person. We could not or we cannot cultivate a person, but what we can cultivate is his personality. And that sabi dyan, personality of a man develops and enlarges itself according to the pattern of his actions, the mature use of his power, and the degree span that you are working in a very prestige company or organization. Syempre, what you see of yourself is iyong personality, particularly because of the person na palibot sa iyo. 'Di ba? Like, isa kasi yun yung always mong nakakasalamuha. Pero 'pag ang kasama mo ay yung mga professionals, magbabago din ang iyong magiging personality. Yes, I think, sino nga yung nag-raise ng hand? Sino yung nag-raise ng hand? Okay.
Sorry po, ma'am, napindot lang
Ay,
po.
okay. It's okay, no problem. Now, sino dito yung may mga friends na parang mo naman yung iba mong friends, especially yung mga friends mo na, halimbawa, friends mo sa school, naging friend mo kasi classmate mo, iba naman yung mga line of conversations ninyo, iba naman yung personality naman ang pinapakita mo. Pero kung doon ka naman sa mga friends mo na wala sila labot kung halimbawa sa mga girls, no, wala sila labot kung gisi-gisi dira bayo mo, or kumbaga you can be with yourself kasi ito yung grupo ng tao na I already know you, kaya there's no hesitation, there's no parang holding back sa iyo. Then meron namang ibang tao na nakakasalamuha mo na sa palagay mo ay I need to be prim and proper. I need to do this kasi baka anong isipin nila sa akin. 'Di ba? And because of that, okay, yung ating, sabi nga diyan, we develop, the personality of a man develops and enlarges itself according to the pattern of his action, the mature use of power, and the schema of habits. This is because, syempre, on the people that we, tawag na to, the different people na nakakasalamuha natin. Okay? So that is about personality. Now, let's proceed with character. Earl.
Character is often taken as synonymous with personality. This is correct if personality is taken as a sum total of psychophysical systems in an individual which enable him to adjust his environment, but character assumes a restricted meaning. Character refers to a person's choice of values and this intelligent and free conversion of such values into practical goals.
Okay. So, titingnan natin, sabi dyan, character, kanina, personality is the sum total of psychophysical system in which it enables us to adjust with our environment. Now, ang character naman is more likely on our choice of values and our intelligent and free conversion of those values into practical goal. Meaning to say, kumbaga kung ang personality, ito yung halimbawa, kailangan natin kumilos ng maayos kasi ang kasama natin lahat ay ang mga teachers. Okay, personality yon. But the character is, ay kailangan kong ipakita na marespeto akong tao, na kailangan kong mag-behave, it's because kasama ko ang aking mga teachers. Then that is character. So it's more likely of a person's choice of values, no? And this intelligent and free conversion of such values into practical goal. So, ibig sabihin, sometimes we choose this kind of value kasi ay gusto ko nga ma-appreciate ako sang teacher ko. Gusto ko nga maghambal siya or maisip niya na mabait akong bata. Yun. So, that is character. Okay? Now, your personality is something na ipinapakita mo. Kaya nga, di ba, maalala ninyo, it's our physical attributes, yung pinapakita na not the body, okay, but something that we project, yun yung personality. Now, please read the next paragraph. Angel.
Good evening, ma'am. Marinig po ba ako?
Yes, dear.
If personality is a psychological entity, character is an ethical entity. We do not say that a man has good or bad personality, but we do say that a man has a good character. Thus, if personality is a principle of rational action, character is a principle of moral action. Personality might be defined as the sum total of our rational habits grouped around the axis of intellect. Character might be similarly defined as the sum total of all our moral habits grouped around the axis of will.
Okay, thank you. So dito, on this paragraph, it really pointed that there is difference between personality and character. So sabi dyan, personality is a psychological entity and character is an ethical entity. Sinasabi na din dyan na we are or personality is based on the principle of rational action, while the character is based on moral action. Yan. And that if personality is defined based on the sum total of our rational habits, character naman is the sum total of our moral habits. So that's the difference between the two. And based naman kanina sa ating discussion, we had already started discussing kung ano yung personality versus the character. Okay? So yan. Now, please continue. So I think yan, yes, um, Zachary.
Hello, ma'am. Uh,
Yes.
Personality is easy to read, and we're all experts at it. We judge people as funny, extroverted, energetic, optimistic, confident, as well as overly serious, lazy, negative, and shy. If not upon first meeting them, then shortly thereafter, and though we may need more than one interaction to confirm the presence of these sorts of sin, we usually amass enough data justify our conclusion. Continue po ba, ma'am?
Sorry. Please continue, Zach.
Character, on the other hand, takes far longer to puzzle out. It includes traits that reveal themselves only in specific and often uncommon circumstances. Traits like honesty, virtue, and kindness.
Okay, thank you. So, kung mapapansin ninyo, etong personality is actually based on what we see with other people. Yun na nga yung sabi ko kanina, no? Um, nakalimutan ko talaga yung window. Meron yang window na yan na known and unknown. Yung personality which is known to you and known to others. I do not know if you could still remember sa Yes, thank you, Feby. Johari yan. Yan yung iniisip ko, Johari. Okay, window. Feby, thank you so much, dear, for for reminding me, Johari window. Very good. So, yun, no? And, kasi, ang personality is, ito lang yung nakikita natin sa ibang tao. Katulad na lang ng, yan, funny, extroverted, energetic, kasi, nakikita kaagad siya natin. Like, kung hindi man siya natin kaagad ma-recognize, shortly thereafter, sasabihin natin na, okay, ano yan siya, yung funny yan siya. Usually, we describe a person, particularly we describe the personality of person based on what we see, what we like experience sa kanila. But the character naman is parang kumbaga kailangan mo talaga ng maraming oras, okay? Ng maraming meetings, maraming tawag nito, yung aside from meetings, ano pa ba yung other term? Yung kailangan mo ng maraming encounter doon sa tao na yon para masabi mo na, ito yung tao na mabait, honest, kind, yun. So that is character. So with that, personality can be, kumbaga, we can determine personality of a person in a very short span of time. While character is different. Kasi kailangan natin ng longer period, ng longer time for us to determine that this person, okay, has a good character or a bad character. Kasi sabi nga kanina, no, we do not say that man has a good personality or bad personality, but rather we can say that man has a good or bad character. Okay. Now, while personality is easier to spot, it's largely static and slow to evolve. Character, on the other hand, takes longer to discern but easier to change. That's because character is shaped by beliefs, and with enough effort and motivation, changing one's perspective and views of the world can lead to a shift in one's character. So, as you can see, 'di ba, parang like it's really okay, there's no really need to explain kasi yun na yun, no? Yun na yun. Na once ang isang tao, okay, though it's longer to spot yung character ng isa, whereas personality mahirap. Pras bala sinang ang personality niya narcissista na siya. Ay, hindi mo lagi na mabago ang pagka narcissista niya, no? Pero kung halimbawa ang isang tao, meron siyang hindi magandang pag-uugali, but okay, because of influences or other factors, pwede actually mabago ang karakter ng isang tao. Okay? So please read the next paragraph. Okay? Yes, Julian.
The malleability of character makes sense when you look at human evolution. In order for our ancestors to survive, they had to adapt to new environments and change with the times, and this remains true in the modern era. If an individual deems a change in his or her surroundings to be significant, then his or her beliefs will transform to accommodate the change. For instance, an individual who might have a shy personality can learn to switch his attitude toward public speaking when stepping into the role of a teacher. The new social and external demands lead to an internal shift that changes his demeanor.
Okay, so tama ano? Like, alam nyo ba, may mga, halimbawa sa inyo, kasi nag-medtech kayo kung dati parang ayaw nyo doon sa mga, 'di ba? Ito yung I do not know if this is true, pero sabi daw, pag medtech daw lahat ng uri ng mga dumi. Is it true? Yun yung iha-handle ninyo. Yun yung parang pinaka ano ninyo, forte. Is that true? Tanan nga klase sang higko? O, 'di ba? So, because yun yung inyong diyan kayo specialize. Kaya pagdating sa mga dumi na 'yan, wala na. Parang normal na 'yan sa inyo, 'no? Pero sa ibang tao, different. Sa ibang tao, iba yung kanilang pananaw. Sige, JR. Tingnan kung may ano, bulate. Sure, wala problema. I can do that. Biskan damo paga or anything I can give. 'Di ba? So gano'n 'yun. So parang walang problema kasi 'yun na yung naging, parang expose na kayo do'n. And so, wala ng keme, wala ng arte-arte, pero 'pag ibang kurso halimbawa teacher, nakakita sang amo sina. So parang there is like ano pa, disgust, yung parang nandidiri kasi iba yung kanilang training. So the same also doon sa personality ano, okay. Kaya may mga halimbawa, ang mga estudyante na shy tapos in-expose mo sa public speaking as what the example mentioned nga kanina, so nag-iiba yung personality nila. It's because, parang kumbaga there is also kasi nga we need to survive and that we need to undergo series of things in order for us to open ourselves to others. So parang ganun din sa ibang tao and the same also sa inyong klase ng trabaho, sa magiging klase ng trabaho nyo in the future. So kung ang personality mo ngayon is medyo ano ka pa like arte-arte ka pa na 'di ba 'pag mag third year, fourth year tanan na klase sang higko kapanyo. So wala na sang arte-arte. So in short, okay, ang kumbaga ang inyong nga kurso kung arte ka, hindi ka puwede mag-medtech, tama? Kaya nga hindi mo mahimo or hindi mo magagampanan ang role mo 'pag mag-arte-arte ka because okay, ang profession ninyo would like kumbaga really need, ano ba ang values, patience, ano pa ba? Ano ba ang pinaka-value na ini-exhibit ng mga medtech, 'no? So yun, and that is your personality, 'no? Now, in this way, even if an individual's inborn preference is to shy away from the public, the beliefs and values that shape his behavior can evolve to reflect the values of his immediate groups and communities. Such awareness and adaptability help with survival. So, the bottom line is despite the significance of our inborn personality traits, we can overcome them as required by personal and cultural demands. So like, kung ikaw narsisista, like you love yourself talaga, pero ara ka sa, halimbawa, nagkaroon ng lindol, nagkaroon ng delubyo. So, and nakita mo na may mga taong nangangailangan. So, hindi mo, kumbaga, ang pagiging narcissistic mo, may ara man na gihapon, may pagka-narsisista ka gyapon, pero it would evolve. Kumbaga kung totally, hindi natin masabi na totally mawawala, pero at least sa Ilonggo pa mahagan-hagan. Yan. Okay? Now, let's proceed with okay, ay time na. Let's continue dito personality ethics and character ethics. But I think kasi ang exam pala ninyo ay ano na 'no, Friday. Actually, ang exam ay, online lang tayo, okay. And, I'll be uploading it sa eLeads. I already talked to Ma'am Christine Ampas, especially doon sa mga estudyante na hindi nakaka-access. Kasi I do not know bakit hindi maka-access. Sabi niya, titingnan ko lang ma'am. Pero yung SKSU email niyo daw is already working. Yun lang talaga sa e-leads ang may problema. Now since actually meron pa tayong dalawang lessons no na hindi natapos. Yung lesson okay, eto habits and its moral significance. Okay? And also etong intellectual virtues and effects of vices. May I know kung may exam na ba kayo sa first day? May schedule na kayong mga exam?
Wala pa pong schedule,
Wala
ma'am.
pa po, ma'am.
Ay, wala pa kayong schedule? Okay, sige. Pero ano, ngayong week din ang exam ninyo?
Yes po.
Okay. Kasi I'm thinking sana of pero I don't want to stress you anymore. Will it be okay na kayo na lang ang magbasa sa lesson 3 and 4? Kasi we can still meet sa Wednesday. Okay, para doon sa last 2 remaining lessons. Kasi pwede naman tayong mag-exam sa Saturday or sa Monday next week. Pwede din naman 'yun. Or will it be okay na kayo na lang magbasa doon sa lesson 3 and 4? Kayo na lang ang mag-ano, mag-study. Yes, okay. So, kaya for Angela, okay lang. Para makapag-exam na kayo sa Friday. Yes, Nikos.
Ma'am, excuse me po. Ano pa yung types of exam mo, ma'am?
Okay. Ang type of exam, okay, true or false. Okay, mayroon ding multiple choice. Meron din tayong identification and then sandali. Let me kasi nakagawa na ako ng exam eh. Midterm, sandali ethics. Ito. Okay, test 1. Okay, true or false. Test 2, identification. Ay, parang baliktarin ko pa ito. Test 3, multiple choice. And test 4, fill in the blanks. Okay, yun lang. Then, the essay will be uploaded na sa e-leads. Lahat naman pala ito i-upload. Pero uh, I will separate the essay dito kasi pag ano, tawag nito, pag may essay kasi sa e-leads, hindi siya nag-o-autocorrect. So, kailangan kong i-check isa-isa. So, isa-separate ko lang si essay kaysa objective type. Yes, JR.
Good evening po, ma'am. Regarding po dun sa mga wala pang
Yes, I
'di
already
ba po
talked
may
to
sinagutan po sila.
yes, oo. Do not worry kasi I can extend naman especially doon sa mga hindi nakasagot. I already asked Ma'am Ampas regarding doon kasi pinakita ko. Actually, sino nga yung isa kanina na nag-screenshot na 'pag inopen niya yung kanyang e-leads, 404 yung lumalabas. So, I already um message the ICT director and ang sabi niya upon checking, okay naman daw yung email address ninyo. Baka ang may problema talaga ang e-leads. Pero sa inyo lang kasi yung mga iba naman, okay naman ang e-leads nila. But do not worry doon sa activity na nasagutan kasi I can extend naman yun. So once okay na ang e-leads ninyo, okay, sasagutan nyo yun. Pero I will make sure talaga na masagutan ninyo, mag-okay yun kasi para sa midterm exam natin. Now, ang midterm exam natin will be on Friday na lang, 3 to 5. Meaning, you can answer within those period, within those time. 3 to 5. Kaya naman siguro yan, ano? Yes, Earl?
Ma'am, 2 hours po ba ang duration ng exam, ma'am?
Yes, 2 hours. Actually, dapat 1 hour lang. Pero I'm thinking kasi the possibility na baka humina ang internet connection. And parang medyo mahina talaga ang internet connection. So, 2 hours. I will set it 2 hours para doon sa iba, pag nagkaroon ng problema, hindi na ako mag-extend. Okay? So, ano pa ba? So, yun lang. Basta the coverage of your exam will be from the 2 chapters. Okay? And kindly read na lang the remaining chapters, ano? Okay? Okay lang ba? Okay. So, thank you so much. I think that's all for tonight. Time check, it's 7:35. And I really appreciate the effort, ano? Especially kasi ano na, late na masyado and you are still there. Walang choice, ano? Walang choice. Okay, but thank you for attending our class and for being good students. I really, really like this group, ano? Kasi very, ano, participative and always on point pag nagbibigay ng mga sagot. So thank you. God bless everyone. Good night and enjoy your dinner. Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.
Goodbye,
Goodbye po, ma'am.
Bye.
Thank you po,
Okay,
ma'am.
welcome.